What is up, everybody? Vince the Prince here, back again for another week, but live, of obviously my power rankings. This is week 11. Nice to have y'all here. Obviously, we're still getting used to a couple of these things here. There you go. I like that one right there because when I'm going to pull up everything, it'll show it exactly as I put it. But obviously, guys, with the power rankings here, let me get all of our criteria up that we go by. I got to pull up all these windows here. So obviously, grading criteria will be points scored, points allowed, offensive and defensive efficiency, and strength of defensive and offensive matchup. So obviously, based off of that, we will get right into it. Thank you guys for being here. Obviously, after this live has aired, it will go out to the general public in a regular video. So let's just get right into it. I mean, obviously, at number one, for no specific reason, we are going to have the Seattle Seahawks. So, again, Seattle, in my opinion, is just good. So, I think that the way everything has been shaking out, everything has been kind of, going well for us, if you want to say it like that. I just think we are playing at our best for the football that has been played this year. We have one of the best receivers. We have one of the best quarterbacks. We have a decent running game, and we have, for lack of a better statistics, the best DVOA for a defense. So let me get the right one out here. There you go. Seattle Seahawks. Minor difficulties as I am still kind of learning all this stuff. But basically, Seattle just played well this past week. Obviously, putting a fair beatdown this past week on the Arizona Cardinals, 44-22. Obviously, we could have pinched maybe closer to a shutout, but it didn't happen that way. So I really won't complain, as I felt like it went as good as possible. So obviously, defense played out of its mind in the first half. We had a bunch of points in the first half, so offense was obviously clicking. But in my opinion, we just looked like the best team out there this week, at least. Let's get to the comments here. It says, "How's your day, bro?" It's Matthew Aaron M2U3E. That's a cool name. I wonder how it said that last part. But how I'm doing good, man. It's been a good day. Obviously, going over the power rankings here. So thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed already yet, go ahead and let me know down in the comments how bad my takes are. And if you like the kind of content that we are giving out here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you are very generous today. Look, this squad 4447 says, "Hi, how's it going, man?" He says, "Bro, please give 100ers." I don't know what that means, but yeah, let's do it. Basically, here doing the power rankings, guys. So thank you all for coming in. Obviously, streaming in vertical and horizontal. So if you like one or the other, go to our page, hit the subscribe button, and both videos are airing right now. But obviously, next week, we have the toughest matchup of the year, in my opinion. Besides the 49ers, we have, obviously, the Los Angeles Rams. We're both 7-2. We're both top 5 in every single type of, statistic out there, offensive, defense. So this one's going to be a great game, if not one of the best games of the entire year. So definitely need to be watching this game. For some reason, it's at the 305 position. I think this should be Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, but I'm not the NFL and, making all these changes. So basically, we shall see what happens, but I'm definitely going to be watching this game because I'm a Seahawks fan and just because I think it's going to be the best game of the week. So it says, please give, 100ers age, and then it says name. I don't know what you mean, my guy, but yeah. So let me know down in the comments. Explain a little better for me. But yeah, I have the Seattle Seahawks here at number 1 as my power rankings. Now we will go off to number 2, who is our rival, the Los Angeles Rams. We're playing them this week. They are playing us this week, basically. We are going to them over there in LA. And basically, this past week, they also put a beat down on another team. If anything, maybe this team is better in the division because of their current record, but they won 42-26 against the 49ers. Obviously, in this upcoming week, they are going to be going against us. I really don't have anything bad to say about them, but in my opinion, it's going to be tough for them to win this game. We are 5-0, I believe, on the road. One of the only two teams in the NFL that are undefeated. The other team is the Patriots on the road. So, in my opinion, we have a chip on our shoulder, and that's just kind of how I like it. Obviously, in my opinion, this is one of the toughest road games for the Seattle Seahawks, and this is going to be a really good game for the Rams to play at home first, the way both these teams are playing. So, at this time, I do believe that the LA Rams are deserving of sitting here at number 2, but I also think the Seahawks can get the best leg up on them if they start hot. An interesting stat here is that the LA Rams have the quarterback that is the best right now in the third and fourth quarter. That's Matthew Stafford. And the Seattle Seahawks have the best quarterback in all of the NFL in the first and second quarter. So it's going to be a tale of two halves. Can our defense hold up in the second half? Can the Rams defense hold up in the first half when the game starts? Or maybe just one of us is just going to outscore the other, and it's going to be a great game the entire game. We shall see. Should be a great one, in my opinion. Let's move on to number 3. Enough talking about my favorite team and, the Rams. Number 3, though, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the third best team in the NFL at this point in time. Obviously, this past week they had the bye week, so really nothing to say on their past game. What I can talk about is obviously in week 9, they went ahead and faced the Bills, lost that game. So in my opinion, they just rose here because there are some other teams that lost that were in this position. But Kansas City continues to get healthy. Kansas City continues to be a juggernaut. They are fighting to make the playoffs here, as they are most likely at this point in time not going to win their division unless the Broncos slip up. They sit at 8-2, and obviously the Kansas City Chiefs sit at 5-4. The good thing for Kansas City is that they are playing them this week. Week 11, Kansas City going to Denver, Mile High, facing the 8-2 Denver Broncos as they are 5-4. Should be a great one. The defense for Kansas City is playing very well, and the offense for Denver is playing, for lack of a better term, piss poor. Right now, they put up like less than 21 points in almost every single game, and Kansas City definitely will put a stop to that and probably score a little more against this Denver defense. But no credit taken away from Denver's defense. They're playing phenomenally, but the offense is where I'm worried there for Denver. So I do believe I'm going to pick Kansas City to win this game in our Pick'ems League. But yeah, it's just the way that's shaking out. And for me, I'm just not believing that much in, the Denver Broncos to win this game, even though it is a road game for Kansas City. But moving on to number 4 here, guys, I do have the New England Patriots. I do believe them also sitting at a pretty high record, 8-2, tied for the best in the league with the Broncos. Weird. Definitely weird. This past week, obviously, they got the good win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I had a feeling that Tampa Bay might actually win this game, but again, health reasons are maybe one of the reasons why they didn't. But can't take it away from New England. Their defense is playing great. Finally, those guys that they traded for and drafted on that defensive side are playing up to par, even with some injuries there. But New England's offense is where I'm really surprised. Did not think Drake May would make this big of a jump at this point in time, but he has. And Drake May is one of the best quarterbacks in football at this point in time, and that's why their offensive grade is better than their defensive grade at this point in time for me. But in my opinion, they're at number 4 for a reason. Obviously, Seahawks are playing the best football, followed by closely by the Rams, and then the Chiefs also are underdogs here. You can just never count them out, especially when they are healthy and have everybody on the field. But New England is right at their heels. If not, could be passing them this week as long as they win this game. So obviously going against the Jets at home, I do think they should win this game. If they don't, I'd be pretty surprised. This one is airing in about 25 minutes. So if you guys do want to watch that game, make sure you get Amazon Prime and watch it there or on any of the services that you use. Basically, it should be a good game, in my opinion. I just don't know who's going to win this game. No, I do know. I do know exactly who's going to win this game, and that's going to be the Patriots. No doubt about it. Yeah, book it, bet on it, whatever you want. The Patriots are going to win for sure. But moving on to number 5, guys, we have the Detroit Lions. Again, another team that is just playing phenomenally well on offense. Defense is where they give up a little bit to be desired. So their defensive grade is not as high as their offensive grade for me. But Detroit put up a 44 burger just like the Seahawks did. 44-22 is the exact same thing. Washington Commanders is who they faced and only put up 22 points. Like I said, probably a lot of trash time points there, but definitely a chill game for them, right? They didn't really have the stress on them too much. Hey, Gentry Christensen, how's it going, man? Or lady, how you doing? But anyways, yeah, the Lions are just playing phenomenally. Obviously, this next week, they will be going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, a little bit of a tougher opponent, on the same conference in the NFC. Detroit sits at 6-3 right now. Philadelphia sits at 7-2. There's a lot of drama in Philly. I think Detroit should win this game upcoming, in my opinion. They are just playing better football on offense. The Philadelphia's defense is good. I just don't know if it's going to be that good to stop Detroit. We've seen a couple people do it. That's why Detroit is 6-3. But we've also seen Philadelphia just falter to some really bad teams as they are sitting at 7-2. So this one should be very, very interesting, in my opinion. Probably second or third best game this week upcoming. Obviously, Seahawks and Rams is the best game, in my opinion, followed probably by either Kansas City and Denver or this one, Detroit and Philadelphia. This one's Sunday Night Football. So another good game to watch on Sunday. But moving on to number 6 real quick, guys, it is the opponent of the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles. In my opinion, sitting at 7-2. I think this team, although they are good and they win when they need to, I think this team is kind of a pretender, and that's why they're falling for me this week. I had them at 3 last week, giving them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they'll use A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Saquon Barkley, along with Jalen Hurts, obviously. But they just can't figure it out like they were doing last year. Putting up so many points last year, but this year it feels like they're just in a funk. It could be the Madden curse with Saquon Barkley being on the cover of Madden this past year. Maybe it's just affecting the whole team and not solely my boy Saquon. But yeah, sitting at 6, offense is not doing very well, in my opinion. They just can't get it under control, as I've been saying. Defense is playing very good, and that's why this team is 7-2. So this is one of the teams where the defensive grades is better than the offensive grade. And this is why they're still in the top 10. The defense is just carrying them at this point in time. And I think even at home, Philadelphia is a hard place to play, and I know that. I just feel like Detroit this week will definitely get the better of them. Obviously, this past week, the slim win against Green Bay, it was such a weird, sloppy game. But I think that in this game, there was like a record or something where Philadelphia won, even though they had more punts than they did points on the board or something like that. It was pretty insane. But yeah, barely winning 10-7, coming in back home and playing the Detroit Lions. I think it's going to be really bad for the Eagles. I am choosing the Lions to win this game. And that's why I have the Lions sitting at 5 and the Eagles sitting at 6. I just think that's how it shakes out. I think that's how the criteria is for me on offensive and defensive grading. And it's just like that. I don't know. I just don't think the Eagles are really that great of a team. I feel like the NFL is getting a lot tougher for a lot of teams to play in. And at this point in time, it's just hard to really figure out who is the best team besides, the Seattle Seahawks, the Rams. Other than that, it's really hard, in my opinion, to pick who these teams are and how good they are. It says Daniel Bears Sports Highlights. How's it going, man? He says, happy Thursday. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Make sure you go to this guy's channel. I did do a little sneak peek, and he's got some good content, good highlight stuff, I'm just kidding. I didn't check it out, but I'm assuming you have some good stuff there. Trying to shoot you a subscriber plethora there. So hopefully some people give you a little bit of some subs and some watches. Let's see here. At number 7, I have the Indianapolis Colts. In my opinion, they faltered in week 9, rebounded in this past week against the Atlanta Falcons, winning 31-25. Offense still looks great. Daniel Jones finally got a little bit back into his, in his bag that he's been in lately. But the defense letting up too much points to the Atlanta Falcons, in my opinion. It just wasn't a really, really good game for me. For them, again, they fell all the way down from 1 in week 9 to 10 in week 10 because they just played that horrible. They looked really bad, and I thought this was the end of them. So I was going to give them an early exit out of the top 10 if they lost this week against Atlanta. But they ended up winning 1-score game. So that's really all I have to say about the Indianapolis Colts. I hope they can continue to play well with Daniel Jones as he tries to resurge his career, basically. But at this point in time, it's just really hard to look at them and be like, yeah, this is a really, really good team right now. Because in my opinion, they are just not. They are a decent team, playing really good when they need to, and the offense is carried by the best player in the league at this point in time, Jonathan Taylor. And the defense plays well. But yeah, Daniel Jones just does enough. He's playing good. He's making good decisions. But something that happened in week 9 that the Atlanta Falcons did not do was what the Pittsburgh Steelers did. And they took away Daniel Jones's first read. Maybe Daniel Jones is finally getting out to his second read, and that's why he played well and won this game. But we'll see what that happens going on this next week. Obviously, they have the bye week, and after that, they will end up being, in week 12, they should be playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that could be another loss there if, the Kansas City Chiefs just follow the trend here and take away his first and most likely his second read. But yeah, going into the bye week, Indians sits at 7. We'll see if they move up because of other teams losing, or we'll see if they move down because other teams are just winning. We've seen it before. But here at number 8, I do have the Denver Broncos, another team that I'm skeptical on, but their defensive grade for me is just extremely high because of how great this team plays on the defensive side. That's it. I can't say anything about the offense. Only putting up 10 points this past week, kind of like the Eagles did. But against a really, really bad team, in my opinion. That was Las Vegas. Las Vegas is kind of, trying to get it together at this point in time. They have a lot of pieces there that could work for them, but it's just not feng shuiing really good under Pete Carroll and the offensive and defensive coordinators there. It just doesn't look pretty. And I don't think Denver, even if they do make the playoffs, will go very far. If they do, it's going to be because of their defense and the defense only. Really, this past week in week 10 going against the Las Vegas Raiders, it was just an abysmal showing, just like the week, I believe, prior, winning 18-15 against Houston. But that one was way better because Houston's defense was just way better than Las Vegas's defense. So at this point in time, Denver, if they lose this upcoming game this week, might see themselves falling out of the top 10 going against Kansas City. If they win this game, then maybe I'm just not giving them enough credit. But it is a home game in Mile High, so they do have the buffer there. Kansas City is still favored by 3.5 points on Yahoo Sports right now, and I think that's correct. I think this could be a close game just because of the defenses that are here, but I do think Kansas City will come out on top, and Denver will lose at home. It's just the way I think it's going to shake out, guys. So if you want to bet on that, go for it. Use your money wisely. But yeah, I do think Denver will lose this week. Going to number 9, I have the Chargers. I mean, again, a team that's been up and down. They have not been in my top 10 since week 5. As you can see, this is week 11, so they've been out of it for 6 weeks for me. This past week, they went ahead and faced the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had, beaten the Colts this on week 9. The Chargers won 25-10, looking like they were figuring some things out, especially on the defensive side, holding Pittsburgh down and getting a funny meme out of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers looked like a whole new person when he was getting hit on that picture. If you haven't seen it, search up Aaron Rodgers versus the LA Rams picture or meme, and you will see what I'm talking about. But it was pretty bad. LA Chargers just look good on offense and defense. Putting up 25 points, you will usually win that type of game. Not a lot of teams right now who score that much don't win. It happens, more often than we think, but at this point in time, when the the LA Chargers are playing at the rate that they're playing, I do think they would end up making the playoffs. So this next week, they will go against Jacksonville, another AFC team there who they need to stay ahead of if they want to. Obviously, if they want to win their division, they sit at 7-3 right now. So it's pretty good for them. I do believe that they are second behind the Denver Broncos, then followed by Kansas City Chiefs after the Chargers right there. So this is a tough division. If they win this division, perfect, they go into the playoffs. But if they continue to lose, especially to a team like Jacksonville, which we have seen them do a couple of times at the caliber of team that they play, this could be a tough one, right? Because then the Kansas City Chiefs roll up behind you. They're only about a game and a half or so behind, and we only have about 7 more weeks after this week. So, in my opinion, every single game is worth it all. You have to put it all out there. You have to make sure that you win these easy games. This is an away game, so it may not be that easy, but LA, the Chargers are favored by 3. And I do think they are the better team in comparison to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, the Jaguars got Jacoby Myers now, and he may know the playbook a little bit more. But also, when is Brian Thomas Jr. going to start playing well? So that's just my big thing there. Obviously, the LA Chargers have a good offense, and at some points in time, they have a great defense too. So we'll see what ends up happening this game, but I do think LA should win. And if they do, they might see themselves moving up if everything shakes out correctly. But last but not least, I have the Buffalo Bills at number 10. They were at number 4 for me this past week, I believe. And they fell, for obvious reasons, to be honest. Losing 13-30 against the Miami Dolphins. What an abysmal showing. Credit to Miami. They played phenomenal on the defensive side as well as offensively. Tua looked like a whole new person. He looked like he wasn't scared whatsoever. But that's how the divisional games shake out, especially this year. It feels like every single divisional game is a struggle for teams to win in most divisions. And this was one of them. Buffalo now, sits at, let's see, where are they? Buffalo sits at 6-3 now. So they could have been at 7-2 right now, still on top of their division. Actually, they're not at the top of their division. They are second in their division, behind the New England Patriots. So obviously, they still look like they could make the playoffs here, but it's going to be hard. This is a home game for them going against Tampa Bay after losing to the Dolphins in Miami. Maybe it was the heat or something. I don't know. But really, it's pretty chilly everywhere in the United States right now. So this one will be in Buffalo. Hopefully the elements are in their favor. Hopefully James Cook can play better. Hopefully Josh Allen can play better. Hopefully the tight ends there for Buffalo can play better, because offensively their grade was horrible, and that's why they fell all the way to 10 here. Everybody else just had way better grades, in my opinion. And the defensive grade for Buffalo also plummeted. after a really good game in Week 9 against the Kansas City Chiefs, where they won 28-21. And then you go and lose to the Dolphins in Week 10. It's just blasphemy. It's oblivious to me on what exactly happened in that locker room and why they lost. But going against Tampa Bay this week, it should be a really, really tough one in my opinion, but it is a winnable game. I'm hoping that Josh Allen can play well, but if he doesn't, it is what it is. I won't take it and hold it against him. But yeah, they sit at number 10, and that is about it, guys. I will give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek here to what I do for these power rankings. Let's go ahead and pull this up right here. Let me pull my screen on here, boys and girls. Right here. So let's pull this up. Basically, this is what I deal with and how I make these. So sitting at 11, I have the Green Bay Packers here. Going to number 12, the Bears, San Francisco 49ers 13, Baltimore Ravens at 14, Vikings, Bucks, Jags, Steelers, Texans, and the Cowboys, followed down here in the 20s to 32 with the Cardinals, Panthers, Washington Commanders, the Bengals, Dolphins, Falcons, the New York Giants, the New York Jets. New York is just not having a great time this year, guys. Not even in basketball. The Saints, the Titans, the Raiders, and last but not least, the Browns. So obviously, guys, a lot going on in the league, but a lot that could be going crazier if everything was going to plan for some certain teams, but it's not. So that's my top 10, guys. That is also everybody else who sits from 11 to 32. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think your team should be higher? Do you think it should be lower? Do you think your rival's team should be lower? Gabe here, Gabriel Munoz, he says, go Pats. Go Pats, man. They have one of the best teams in the league right now, one of the most complete teams, followed by my Seahawks. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to tune into the game too, it starts in about 15 minutes. So get your popcorn ready. Get your game time snacks on because Thursday Night Football is almost upon us. Thank you guys for whoever watched. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're feeling generous. And as we always say here on NSP Football Talk, guys, thank you and keep on grinding.